After you reach the billionaire barrier, your travel, thinking, and most importantly, spending patterns all change significantly. Mark Zuckerberg, the well-known CEO of Meta, flaunts his outrageous fortune everywhere he goes. He is so wealthy that he can live like a king with his monthly pay. The CEO of Meta already made no less than $1.7 million per hour in 2017. What was Mark Zuckerberg's $96 billion spending strat? Let's investigate. Every healthy billionaire has a sizable real estate portfolio, which they all share. While other well-off celebrities and businessmen are known to spend a few $1,000,000 on enormous homes, Mark Zuckerberg goes one step further. The IT genius invests more than $59 million on two nearby residences in Lake Tahoe. Early in 2019, he paid a staggering amount of $59 million for two adjacent properties on Lake Tahoe. Although, while the price is larger than most people could ever envision spending on a vacation home or two, it is still a drop in the ocean for a man whose worth is estimated to be above $70 billion. The two homes, which together cover over 10 acres, feature a total of 15 bedrooms and numerous docks for storing various boats. The larger of the two mansions, called Brushwood Estate, was built in the 1960s and has two neighboring guest homes for guests to enjoy the lovely and tranquil surroundings. The small mansion, dubbed Carousel Estate, is a wonderful Tudor-style home constructed back in the early 1930s. The Lake Tahoe business only makes up a small portion of his real estate holdings. The late Hewlett-Packard founder William Hewlett's family and the late publishing legend Charles McClatchy's family both reside in the Lake Tahoe neighborhood. Mark Zuckerberg and his wife, Priscilla Chan, have acquired 10 properties in total, including homes in Palo Alto, San Francisco, Kauai, and of course, Lake Tahoe. In 2011, he paid a pittance of $7 million for his 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom home in Palo Alto's Crescent Park district in Silicon Valley. Then, he spent a staggering $43 million to buy 4 nearby homes. His neighbors have no chance of peeping inside this kind of structure. He paid a staggering $100 million for 2 houses on the Hawaiian island of Kauai in 2014. Yeah, he paid the enormous amount for 2 estates totaling 750 acres on a remote Hawaiian coastline. Mark Zuckerberg clearly enjoys having vacation properties close to the water. The couple added 89 acres to their holdings in 2017. 3 years later, for an additional $45 million, a 393-acre remote seaside property, the Kahuaina Plantation, is next to Pilar Beach and was supposedly purchased by Zuckerberg for $66 million. I believe it's amazing. There are 2,500 feet of beach on the former sugarcane plantation, as well as a functioning organic farm with goats and turtles. Although 80 homes were permitted on the plantation site, the Zuckerberg family only intends to construct 1. It appears that Mark and Priscilla are passionate about maintaining the pristine beauty of the Hawaiian landscape. Let's now return to the continent. In addition, Zuckerberg has a 500-square-foot apartment in San Francisco that he allegedly paid $10 million for in 2013. The house required some upgrades despite being completed in 1928. The kitchen and bathroom were renovated, as well as a wine room, greenhouse, and movie room, according to reports that the Facebook founder spent more than $1.6 million on upgrades. How does one guy have the resources to build 10 houses and a plantation? Meta, I suppose. Let's simply review the previous events. Since he was a college student majoring in psychology, writing code with a beer in one hand, experiencing insomnia, and planning simple computer hacks, he has been known as Mr. Facebook. Back at Harvard, he created a tool called Course Match to help students select their majors based on the classes that their friends or lovers were taking. After achieving only little success, he just so happened to have his next piece of software called Face Match, which really took off in the other Harvard community. In essence, it was a who's hotter digital platform. In 2002, Divya Narendra and the Winklevoss twins introduced the notion of a Harvard Link and Harvard-only social networking service, and from there, Zuckerberg met them. Basically, Zuckerberg stole their concept and claimed it as his own. He initially registered the domain as thefacebook.com on February 4, 2004, but later changed it to just Facebook. From there, Facebook started to spread to other nations, including Columbia, Yale, Stanford, and eventually the rest of the world. He left Harvard after his second year in order to focus on the site, which turned out to be a brilliant move. It was a novel and innovative thing at the time to allow friends who had only ever met in person to connect and interact online. Both the users and the money increased. Since Facebook went public in 2012, Zuckerberg has increased his net worth by an average of $9 billion a year. $9 billion annually is incredible. Although Zuckerberg has spent millions on homes, yachts, aircraft, and vehicles over the past 15 years, the majority of his money has gone back into Facebook, now known as Meta. One of the finest technologies of all time is not so gullible as to believe that Facebook is unbeatable. Competitors frequently raise their left, right, front, and back. Zuckerberg, therefore, chooses a different strategy from simply buying out his rivals rather than engaging in competition with the new challenge on the horizon. He paid $1 billion for Instagram in 2012. He bought WhatsApp for an incredible $19 billion 2 years later. In 2014, Oculus VR cost him $2.3 billion. He spent $20 million on Asana for $47.5 million. FriendFeed was bought in 2008, and Facebook Mapillary, a business for low-level imagery, was just shut down in June 2020. You understand what it implies. Zuckerberg does not always acquire businesses. He occasionally donates sums of money to charitable causes and nonprofits out of the goodness of his heart. Zuckerberg donated $100 million in 2015 to help Newark, New Jersey's public education system get better. He continues to want to support the educational system after that. Additionally, he generously gave the instructors $5 million in down payment to help so they could purchase homes in the region of Silicon Valley at an absurdly expensive price. Although these deeds are extraordinarily noble gestures, keep in mind that Zuckerberg could donate $100 to every American now and still have more than half of his enormous net wealth remaining. Before his time on Earth is through, he has also promised to donate half of his fortune to good causes. Mark Zuckerberg and his wife, however, have established the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, a foundation that offers financing for research, development, and engineering projects with the aim of curing diseases and advancing justice while they are still alive. While we absolutely congratulate him for these endeavors, it wouldn't be inaccurate to assume that a man of his riches would spend so much money, and we're talking a lot of money, on Ulysses, a gigantic yacht that costs $150 million and is 350 feet long. Ulysses is unquestionably unique. It has a huge pool, a jacuzzi, a sauna, a steam room, a massage room, a formal dining room, a huge wine cellar, and a master suite that would compete with the best hotel rooms. It also comes with its very own private helicopter, a separate 78-foot boat, 4x4 car, and, yes, a motorcycle for an added touch of status. The yacht alone is expected to cost $2 million in monthly maintenance, so if Mark isn't sailing out in the seven seas, he's flying off from coast to coast on a private jet that has been hired. A man of his prominence and fortune doesn't have a choice, despite the fact that it saves time and effort. According to Meta, Zuckerberg needs the private plane service because of a unique threat to his safety. The price of the chartered flight was $871,000 only in 2016. When you double that by 10, the figure jumps into the tens of millions. Mark uses this service for both personal travel and top-notch luxury vacations, even though he always takes a private plane for work-related travel, whether it be domestic or international. So, where does a man choose to spend his few days off when he has the means to travel anywhere on Earth? The CEO has been spotted in Vietnam, France, and Japan, to mention a few, throughout the years, sometimes with his better half and other times without. Mark and Chan took a romantic getaway to secluded Maine in 2017 to commemorate their 5th wedding anniversary. Traveling isn't as easy for them as you might imagine because of the safety issues that surround them, and between 2014 and 18, Mark spent no less than $15 million on his protection, and that amount is continuing to rise. Together with a security team, Mark also has a PR team made up of individuals who assist with the marketing aspect of Meta and make sure to maintain a good attitude. He, however, does not spend a lot of money on clothing because he only owns a handful of original understated clothes that he can wear every day. But just because something is simple doesn't mean it's inexpensive. His designs, which can cost up to $400, are by Bruno Casanelli. Despite having access to more than 2,000 Lamborghinis, Zuckerberg is also renowned for driving subpar vehicles.